Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is August 30th, 2019. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? How's your week been?
Oh, working some more work, and then, what's that over there? Oh, it's work.
Yeah, man, same here. Been busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
Just been stressed out. We got a hurricane coming.
Yeah, you guys are it's about that time, isn't it? Like, shouldn't you guys have already had, like, 3 or 4 by now?
We should have, yeah. And I looked at the path, and literally one of the lines goes over my house.
Well, that's just, like, damn.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. All right, we'll see. We got it.
That comes, because that, like, when does that make landfall? Like, Monday?
Should be Monday, yeah. And then, I don't know, actually. I think it's slowed down. It should be going over Orlando Wednesday at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is messing everything up for me. I was like, if we're going to get the hurricane out of the way, let's do it earlier in the week. And now it's like in the middle of the week, and I'm like, no. That's when I got to do things Wednesday. And I have a feeling nothing is going to be open and everything's going to fall apart because everything's due and everything. Oh man, then I'm going to get the, well, we're not open. We can't take your money. We can't do this. Well, sorry. Like it's just going to be out of luck for Wednesday. Oh man,
Yeah.
it could not have happened in a worse week. But I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is, that's in the path has either gotten everything prepared. You got your cans, you've boarded up, you've removed any loose tree limbs that you've seen dangling over the last year. Yeah, because I hope everyone's safe. But it's oh god, that was not fun to see last week. Like, oh, we got a hurricane coming, and it's not even just coming; it's like it's literally going right through us. So
Yeah.
yeah. But been in Florida long enough that this is, it's one of those things where like I saw a thing online where it was like if it's a category 2 or higher, it's like okay, now I have to pay attention to this.
Right.
Any other hurricane, it's the same old thing. It's fine, but once it gets that high, it's like okay, we really gotta make sure we got a generator and all this other stuff.
Yeah, if it's just a Cat 1 or tropical storm, you're like, yeah, some branches might come down, we might lose a little power, but
Right.
No big deal.
Exactly. Now it's like, oh, okay, well, now I'm gonna have to, of course, move the electronics away from the windows and stuff in a couple days, and thankfully, work is super understandable. They're totally understanding. They're like, hey, we know a hurricane's coming to you. Don't feel like you have to work at all, especially if it starts to get bad. We want you to actually unplug everything. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have a couple days where I guess I'll just be on the Kindle, I guess, just relaxing. But the biggest thing is the air conditioning that goes out.
Oh man, yeah.
And it's, oh my god, it's terrible for a couple of days. So hopefully the power is not out for too long. You can only hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So it's going to be a crazy couple of days this coming week. So I don't know, man. Just getting ready for that. And yeah, man, we don't have too much to talk about. It might be a little bit of a short show, but we got a lot to talk about from D23.
Yeah, it's a big week.
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, man. So where do we start with? What the box office looks like?
I didn't grab box office numbers because we're just starting the weekend, and I was like, Yeah, and there's really like nothing that comes out. Bennett's War got like a semi-wide release. Like it's not a limited release, but it's not really a wide release. There were a couple others. Don't Let Go came out, but I haven't actually been seeing that up anywhere. There's one cool thing. The Matrix is getting re-released for its 20th anniversary, which is a great reminder of just how old I am.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But it's in, I'm not sure exactly what all theaters are doing it. I know it's in Dolby theaters at a lot of AMCs, and I'm not sure what format it's in elsewhere, or if that's just an exclusive thing, but it's one of those things that's like, oh, well, this is neat. Probably not going to be a huge turnout, because it's stuff like this usually isn't. You know, the big anniversary stuff it doesn't draw all that much. I mean, even there was an Alien anniversary I think last year. There was Die Hard last year. And I mean, those are like always fun events and stuff, but they don't draw big.
Do you think they'll do it for Star Wars, for Rise of the Skywalker, or?
I'm kind of hoping for a marathon, just not where I work.
You would think that would be one where they're like, hey, we're ending this. Let's show everybody. Because, I mean, that would be cool for a lot of people to see, like, the original movies in the theater.
It would. No, it absolutely would. Especially since the same company owns all of them now, and all of the distribution rights to all of them now.
Right.
Like, I would think that'd be awesome, but that's not up to me.
Do you think we get the Fox fanfare before this one? Now that they own the rights to it, do you think that we'll hear? No, you don't think so?
No, I think that's a fun little Easter egg for us, but we're not.
That's one thing I do miss with the newer ones is that full Fox fanfare before it.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same as the other ones, or it's just gonna be nothing until the crawl, really.
Right, but man, I'm getting excited. We got November coming, and we'll get. I mean, should we get all into that now, or let's take care of the little news beforehand?
Yeah, let's talk about two giant companies that can't get their heads out of their asses.
Yeah,
I'm so done with this, man. And here's the thing. And this is Disney and Sony, and they can't make a deal on Spider-Man and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And the details of what was discussed and what was rejected and who did what keeps changing.
Right.
There's still not one cohesive story about what happened.
This feels like playground. Like
yes.
You heard from Johnny that Stacy did this, but really, if you hear from Stacy, Johnny did this, and it's
and then Bobby comes up and says, no, neither one of them did this. It was Jerry who came down and did all this, but Jerry wants to blame it on Danny, so it's it's a giant mess, and in a year's time it's never gonna matter because they're gonna work out a deal because nobody on either side is really that stupid. And it's all gonna be worked out. It will.
I turned on the news in 2019 and I always wonder like how did we get here?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But they'll work it out.
Do you have Greenland's for sale? I'm sorry. Like nothing surprises me anymore when. But yeah.
No, that's true.
These companies, it only makes sense to figure something out, and to iron it out. And I think what was happening, I have no idea, because that would be insane if I had any idea. But I think they were trying to get all this figured out right before D23, and neither party wanted to budge. So it was made public by someone within these companies to see if anything could be done, because that would have been a really cool surprise, at the show, like, oh, by the way, we still got Spider-Man, and here's what our plans are.
Right.
But I don't think they could iron any of that. Now that it's out there in the open and people have stepped away from it because next week we'll find something new to get obsessed with. I'm sure Chick-fil-A will come out with a new something and whatever, the Popeyes or whatever. So next week, everyone's attention will be somewhere else.
Sure, yeah.
And they'll have time to actually behind the scenes figure something out. And if not, oh well. Like,
and the thing is, like,
Sony will keep moving.
Exactly, but and here's the thing, like, Sony kept this in the public, and they were like, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to keep talking about this, and we're going to talk about this some more, and everything they kept saying wasn't really sticking to Disney the way that I think they thought it would.
Yeah. And
Disney did the smart thing, which was nothing. They didn't say a word.
Well, see, that's the thing is, Sony, I don't think, unfortunately, can. Without Spider-Man, that is their mascot they have right now. Without that, they have just a few franchises to hold on to, like 007 and whatnot. Where Disney, it's like they can easily give that up because they have a million other things to focus on. And I think that's exactly what happened. Is that at D23 they showed all of these new things, especially with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Where when Spider-Man was brought up, it was they both Tom Holland and Kevin Feige were essentially like, hey, like we appreciated all the time we had with each other. You could tell, I mean, there was reports that it was so stupid that like Tom Holland unfollowed them on Sony on Instagram. And
that cracked me up.
You can tell that they're not happy with it,
right?
With what happened, but you gotta play the cards that you're dealt at this point. And,
yeah.
And some of these billionaires with their egos, and these two giant studios, they're gonna, it'll eventually either work out, or Sony will have to make it work without the, my guess is they'll go like Spider-Verse with it, and they'll just have to like just not mention. I don't even know if they can mention the other characters.
They can't.
They can't even mention them, so they can't even be like, well, Happy is.
It'll have to be like the most oblique references possible. It'll have to be like, hey May, so where I thought I didn't know you were picking me up. Yeah, well,
Right.
And they just kind of left it that, where the audience is gonna have to be like, oh, I guess they're talking about Happy, and like he's not here. Where did he go? Why is he not here? Oh wait, that's right. These two companies couldn't figure out a licensing deal.
And the way they left the universe in the second one, I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen Far From Home, but there's a pretty big thing that happens that's like shattering for Spider-Man, and so I'm wondering where they go from that. They'll have to do, my guess, is something that is so fast-paced and pushes him away from everything, so that you can't even mention all of that stuff, like a live-action Spider-Verse or something, where they suddenly got Andrew and Toby back on board. I doubt they'll get Andrew. It'll be hard to get him more than Toby, but
yeah,
they'll have to do something like that where they push him away and he's thrown into another universe, or like I was afraid that, like, oh, here comes another reboot. And if they were to do a reboot, just do it with Miles. Like, start with Miles. That way we're not doing the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows? It's one of those things where the fans lose. No, this was a lose-lose for fans, and these I don't know, these two companies. They're only for the money. So hopefully in the future they work something out. If not, then we'll have to just get with whatever Sony does, because they got Venom 2 coming out. They got what else? Who's the vampire?
Oh, Morbius. Yeah.
Morbius. Yeah, they got Morbius that they've been working on. So who knows? I wasn't a fan of Venom, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not really thrilled for the sequel.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Here's the thing. Far From Home would not have been the movie it was without Disney's involvement. And
Sure.
and as such would not have been the highest grossing Sony film ever made.
Right.
And if Disney wants to come to the table and say, "Hey, we want a bigger piece of this," I think that given the level of involvement that they had, there is a counter argument to be made, instead of what the reports have of just Sony walking away.
Yeah, because I mean, what it was before is Marvel was paying 100% the upfront cost for the movie. They were getting 5% of the first day, and that's it.
Yeah. So
there should be some, and I understand, like, there was reports that at first it was like Disney wanted 50% of the profits, and then it went to 25%, and it's like there should be some place in the middle there. And I guess it came down to Kevin Feige, because Sony was like, well, hey, if Kevin isn't going to be on it, and he's going to be on Fantastic Four and X-Men, we don't want a deal. And it's like, really? Like, you can't figure something out?
I mean, as much as I understand their position, because Kevin Feige has been the godfather of the MCU. The man can't do everything.
Well, and he's been behind pretty much every Spider-Man film too.
Yeah.
He was there the first three, and reportedly he helped with even the amazing ones. Just off the record.
Yeah. If they'd had him on the record, they might have been better.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's one of those, like, I guess his name gets mentioned when something does great.
Yeah.
But those films had all other sorts of different problems.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man, I'm with you. I think the Spider-Man pictures under Disney have been just leagues better. The story-wise, just everything to me. And so it sucks to see this happen. Ugh. But you can't really do anything about it. It's these two warring companies. No reason to get upset on the internet about it. But
no, they'll be a deal. This'll work out.
They'll figure it out.
I think that somebody at Sony thought it would be a good idea to put this out before D23 to put some pressure on Disney as a bargaining chip, and it I'm not gonna say it blew up in their face, but it didn't work at all. And so it's just kind of, now we are where we are, but they'll work it out.
Well, and this just came out because Insomniac is now Sony purchased them,
yep.
Right?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, that came out right before D23 and all this stuff happened. I think it was like literally the day before the news broke about the Spider-Man stuff. Is that Insomniac was purchased by Sony, so instead of it being a second party game, it's going to be a first party game.
Yep.
In studio. So that was cool. It's like we all got excited for that, and then it was like, oh, okay. The next day, it was like took the air out of our wings. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll be there to see the movies. We'll be there to enjoy it or not. But we can just only time will tell what happens with this. But yeah, man, let's get into D23 now. Have you ever watched a D23, or like have you ever? Did you ever sit down and watch all of this stuff the few years prior, or did you just see clips?
I just saw clips. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. So this was the first time like sitting back and trying to watch as many of them I can. And I gotta say, man, they put on a hell of a show, way better than a lot of these other ones that I've seen. I don't know. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah. There was a lot of news. We'll kind of stick towards the stuff that we tend to talk about, I guess, because there was a ton of Disney Plus stuff, which is November 12th? 12th, yeah. So let's start with, let's do the Disney stuff first. So when I say Disney, I mean like not the Marvel or Star Wars.
Gotcha. No, I got you.
But there was some live action stuff that was pretty cool. They showed the trailer for a live action Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, they did.
What do you think about that?
It looks, after Lion King, I'm not all that impressed with like the animal ones.
Really. Oh yeah.
Like it just kind of, I'm not too crazy about it.
No?
Not really.
Now, were the dogs talking in this one? Like, did it show them?
It didn't, well, no, I don't think it did. I hope it did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And I mean, I'll watch it. It'll be cute and it'll be something to watch, but I'm not excited for it.
This is what I'll say about it. Everything that they showed me for the Disney Plus, even though some of it looked like, okay, I can see why they're not putting it in the theater, looked a lot better than the stuff that Netflix has been putting out.
That's true. I'll give you that
original content. And I'm not saying that in such a Netflix has been putting out some great original stuff, and Amazon as well that they're coming out with. Like I've seen some trailers recently for what's that new Amazon one?
Carnival Row, is that what you're looking for?
No.
Oh, not that
where
one.
they're in like the balloon.
Oh, I doubt.
Amazon original. It's like.
I can't help you with that one.
Arrow. Oh, all right. Well, while my head freaks out and I can't think of it. Hold on. Let me pull it up here.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
Astronauts. Let's see. Aeronauts. I'm sorry. Aeronauts.
Okay. Sure.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
I haven't. No.
Okay, I'll send it to you. You can watch it later or whatnot.
Yeah, check it out after a bit.
It looks fantastic.
Nice.
Like the you can tell that these companies have really tried to now like really, I don't know, they're competing now with each other. So when I see the D23 stuff, I'm like, these movies look like, especially I imagine to a kid, like straight up giant, pictures you would put out in the theater. So when I saw Lady and
Exactly.
the Tramp, that could easily have been put out in the theater.
It could
Yeah.
have been, but I think it'll do better as a Disney Plus
Oh,
exclusive.
absolutely, absolutely. It to me it feels better than like a TV movie, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes. It
Yeah.
is a it is it is a it is a feature quality production. But it's
Yes.
one of those things where, like, if they released it in theaters, just how well would it actually do? I think about
Right.
Pete's Dragon. Nobody remembers that they actually did a live-action Pete's Dragon last year.
Right. Right. No one saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
You're
that same
absolutely
kind
right.
of thing of, like, would Lady and the Tramp really have done well at the box office?
Yeah.
And
And
I'm
they
gonna...
had that Noel movie, which it's kind of like Netflix. They had that Santa Claus movie last year that everyone loved.
Yeah.
And it's in the perfect place. It comes with your subscription. It's you can word of mouth. You can just say, "Hey, this just dropped."
Right. And
That Dark Crystal series just dropped today. I'm going to check that out once we're done here because, man, I've been looking forward to that for a while. So like
yeah.
the production of these things are just they're getting crazy at this point. So when I saw the Disney stuff, I was like, wow, like none of this looks like all of this looks like something I would totally check out.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, they got a short form series called Muppets Now. It is announced coming in 2020.
Yeah, I'm excited for that just because I love the Muppets and I
Huh?
I enjoyed the last Muppets that they did. That was like The Office but with Muppets. I really liked that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the problem with it was on ABC. It was on
Yeah.
broadcast. It was on a network. Had that been just on Disney Plus, it would still be going.
You know what I would love? I would love if Disney Studios, this would never happen, but I think this would make a fantastic movie. If Disney Studios and the WWE Studios made a movie about the Muppets taking over Manhattan, but it was the Square Garden. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little. I just think that would make such a funny movie.
I mean, WWE has done Scooby-Doo movies, so I mean, this isn't
Yeah,
entirely outside the realm of possibility.
and it would be that the McMahon family had an emergency or something, and everyone had to leave, and the Muppets were left in control of the show.
And it would probably be better than your average Monday Night Raw.
It would be fantastic. It would be the Muppets take WrestleMania or something. It's like suddenly the Muppets are in charge, and
Well,
Kermit is freaking out.
hell, the Muppets were guest hosts on Raw years and years ago when they did that like every week.
Yeah, see that would make just amazing movie put out on Disney Plus
Yeah, there
or
you go.
the WWE Network. That would be fantastic because it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's about a show. So I don't know. That would be great. But yeah, anyway. So back to some of the live action stuff. So the new Lizzie McGuire series. Now I never watched Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie McGuire was hilarious because it came around like I was at a weird that was like the part of where I was starting to get a little too old for like Disney Channel stuff at that point.
Yeah.
Like that's as I was starting to move away from it, and then stuff like help me out here, like Wizards of Waverly Place and all that stuff. That was post my time. But
Yes, I never saw any of that stuff, but
yeah.
she's like a cartoon that talks to her, right?
It's her conscience. Yeah,
that's right.
It's basically her conscience, and now it's gonna be like that, but she's grown up now.
Yeah,
it'll be funny.
yeah.
I love that they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this because we're Disney, so why the hell not?
Right.
I'm like, I'm okay with that, sure. But I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It'll be intriguing at least in the beginning. So we'll see what happens.
Yep, and it's on Disney Plus, so you can just go check it out. That's the best thing about it is there's you got that $7 a month, and that's really it.
Yeah.
It's all there. So, now there was no. I think we heard a little bit from. There wasn't any official word if this is all going to be a weekly thing or if it's going to drop all at once. But I think what was it? Didn't someone mention that it might be weekly for some of these shows?
I think I heard something where like a lot of these are going to be weekly.
Right. So, and that's fine. That's cool. Some of these I would prefer that, especially like the Star Wars stuff. But the we got and this just completely surprised me. We got a trailer for The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
I remember when they announced this, and it was basically just a title, and it's Jeff Goldblum experiencing things, and it made me think of like how it's made, kind of thing.
Right.
Or like an Anthony Bourdain style show of just like, here's Jeff Goldblum doing the thing. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever, go for it. Why not?
Yeah.
And then you see the trailer and you're like, oh, well, this actually has a lot of heart in it, because it's not, here's somebody we stuck in here and he's going to follow somebody around who's making this amazing thing. It's like, Jeff Goldblum's really interested in jeans. So he's going to see how jeans are made, and you're going to learn the history of denim. And it's like, this is the most Jeff Goldblum thing, and I'm absolutely here for it.
Oh, absolutely. I love how they ended it with like a Jeff Goldbloomer.
Oh, God.
Like, is it a late bloomer?
He is a late Goldbloomer. Oh, it hurt, man. That joke hurt my soul. And I make jokes like this for a living.
I thought it was great when it's Jeff Goldblum. Oh man, I hope he makes that show forever, because that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was the Nat Geo one. So yeah, that was awesome. You know, stuff like that. That's really cool.
That's the part of that series of the service that everybody's gonna sleep on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we got a Cruella, right? Or
yeah, we got the
Dalmatians.
Yeah, we got the first image from Cruella, which comes out next year. Yes, I think it's like next summer. It was supposed to be next Christmas, but I think they moved it up.
No, am I remembering this wrong, or wasn't there already a live action 101 Dalmatians?
There was, with Glenn Close, if I remember right.
That's
yeah.
Right. So this is just going to be. Oh, this is going to focus on her.
Yeah, this is more a her story. This is like an origin. It's the Maleficent kind of treatment. Gotcha. Yeah, it's not about the main character. It's about the quote unquote villain.
But she wanted to make like a coat out of puppies, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to make her relatable and or not relatable, but you know. Because at least with Maleficent, there was like, okay, wasn't there like I could see why you're like the way you are.
Yes.
I don't know how you're going to do that with making a coat out of puppies.
Maybe her parents are mauled by rabid chihuahuas? I don't know. Yeah, it's like she just hates dogs? Look, man, I can't help you. I don't know.
I want to see the fall, like on Breaking Bad. Like, how are they going to make I don't know. Speaking of Breaking Bad, real fast, did you see that we got a trailer for Breaking Bad movie?
Yeah, El Camino. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
It's going to hit Netflix first and then eventually AMC, but I thought that was cool. Now, this takes place after the events of the show, right?
Yes.
Man, I don't want to spoil the show, but they were making it seem like some things that I thought happened didn't happen.
No, I think everything that happened.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong then. I just don't know how they're going to be in the. I don't know. We'll talk. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm excited to see it. Yeah. I'm probably just remembering it wrong because I thought, well, how could that character be in the show or movie if what happens at the end happens? I don't know, but.
Well, but I mean, there is precedent for those kind of things too.
That's true.
They may be there and they may not actually be there, kind of thing. You know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Little Obi-Wan Kenobi. Got it.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see. So I don't know. I thought it was really cool. We've been hearing rumblings of that happening and that they were getting together. We saw some Instagram posts of them together. It's like, okay, yeah, what are they doing? And we finally got an official thing. So.
Yeah, it comes out October 11th, so we don't have too long to wait.
Not too long. I like these quick drops.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the Marvel stuff. There was, they talked about, they showed Kit Harington was announced for the Eternals.
Yeah, which was just kind of like, okay, he's playing one of the characters who has used the Black Knight moniker in
Right.
the MCU. Again, my Eternals lore not tremendously up to scratch, so I couldn't tell you. Apparently, his character is not an Eternal, from what I've read. So
Right. No, he was an Avenger at some point. Black Knight. He was. Oh, what was he in recently?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, man.
Hmm.
Was he in War for the Realms somewhere or something?
No. Oh God, what was he in? I forget. I think it was like Original Sin or something like that.
Might have
One of
been.
one of those random
Right.
events. Yeah. Or maybe it was whenever the worlds were breaking apart with
Oh, was he somewhere in Battle World somewhere?
yeah, something like that. I'm sure he was in the War of the Realms, though. Like that. He had to have been in that. But very obscure character. But hey, I mean, look, we got Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're arguably some of the best characters in the MCU. You know, there's kids out there who that's all they know is Rocket and Groot. So, Black Knight, they can make just as, you know, that's been kind of the MO of the Disney stuff, right? Is they'll take characters like Iron Man and make them like top tier characters. So, but anyway, we got some other Marvel news. Let's see here. Did you see the? It was the WandaVision.
Yeah, that poster is creepy looking. Like I love it, but it's creepy looking.
Yeah, it's straight up from the comics. It's straight up from Tom King's Vision. It looks like.
Yeah.
At least the Vision part. There's a big difference between what happens in that and this, but I thought it was cool they were bringing back Kat Dennings.
Yeah, that was a weird. Like I'm glad that Darcy's gonna be back, but what a weird, like, that's a strange spot for her to show up in.
Yeah, well, they're bringing her into it. They're also pulling in like the FBI or the cop from Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, shoot, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I know who you mean.
And I even think the little girl, all grown up, is going to be in it as well from Captain Marvel.
Yes, she is. She is.
Yeah, I forget her character's name. I'm sorry, I don't have any of this in front of me, but
Monica, right? Wasn't it?
Yes.
She was Monica Rambeau.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
So the what I think it is she's going crazy, and these are not alternate. You know, we know that the multiverse of madness is Doctor Strange, and we know that she's going to be a part of that. Wanda is. So I think we're getting our No More Mutants type deal. Or no, what was the event called?
House of X.
House of X, yeah.
Or no, House of M. House of M.
House of M, yeah. I think we're getting that scenario right now with her.
Yeah.
She's losing her mind, and what she thinks is real is not real, and so all of these characters are popping into her little universe, her little pocket that she's creating, and maybe she's pulling them from alternate universes. Who knows? But something's very weird is going on, especially with all these characters, and it's going to look like a 50s aesthetic. It's going to be like a sitcom, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is weird and cool because we haven't seen anything like that. But yeah, so I thought that was neat. We got some Black Panther 2 release date, May 6, 2020.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. We got some other Marvel shows that they weren't announced at Comic-Con.
No, they just kind of dropped them on us.
Yeah, they dropped them on us, and these are very comic booky. Like the other ones they dropped at Comic-Con were way more like, here are some spin-off shows from the movies, and the ones they dropped here, it's almost like they should have reversed it. Where these were very comic book stuff, because these three are like, here's characters you've never heard of. And here's Miss Marvel, but not heard of. I'm sorry. If you've ever seen the MCU movies and that's it, you've not heard of these characters.
Yeah, fair.
But if you're comic book, nerds like us, you know these characters. So they dropped Miss Marvel, they dropped She-Hulk, and Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, which is the one that everybody's been clamoring for.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's been rumored that Keanu Reeves has been talking to Marvel about something, And a lot of people point to that character like that would make a lot of sense if he was Moon Knight.
Just imagine that, a Moon Knight Disney Plus series starring
Dude.
Keanu Reeves. What a
Yeah.
phrase! What a world we would be living in.
Yeah, you throw in one of the people behind John Wick into there, like as a showrunner or something to help out with like the fighting and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You could really, oh man. And Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, which is cool. She's she's super popular in the comics. She's an Inhuman that really loves Captain Marvel, so she dons her old outfit out of respect for her. It is totally, fans love her. So, and they also talked about how she's going to be not only in the show, but these characters will eventually see themselves in the MCU, like the movies.
Right, and I love that they said that. They came out and were like, yeah, these are Disney Plus series, and then they will be in the MCU.
Yes. Yeah. So I think they're getting, like, a lot of these announcements to me are preparing for like a Young Avengers movie.
Might be.
Because I could totally see Kamala Khan. It's a shame they don't have Spider-Man because he would have been right there with them. But like She-Hulk and stuff like that. Oh man! And then of course, sorry, we didn't get to She-Hulk, but She-Hulk, yeah, that was another one. So I'm curious about the rights with that. I know the movie rights are Universal, but I guess on TV they own all the rights to all these characters.
Well, but here's the thing, though. I wonder if She-Hulk was ever included in that deal, because the Hulk was, but was She-Hulk?
I thought it was like Spider-Man, where it's like that pocket of the universe they own.
Yeah.
But you're right. Who knows? I know that Universal, at least, it's Universal's deal. I guess is different. Where like he can't have his own movie, but he can play in the universe.
Right. If the Hulk if it's a standalone Hulk movie or a Hulk starred movie, where it's like he is the lead, then Universal owns the distribution rights.
Got it.
They have the same kind of deal, I think, with Namor. I think that's also why we haven't seen him yet anywhere. Is because I think it's a similar deal where they have, for some reason they got the Hulk and Namor, because this was back when Disney was like, or when Marvel was like, we need money, what can we sell?
Right. Now that actually makes me wonder about the Spider-Man stuff. That Sony they don't own the rights on television to Spider-Man, right?
No, because Disney, like Disney Junior, Disney Channel, whatever it is, has like all kinds of animated Spider-Man shows.
So could Disney do a Spider-Man TV show?
When you get into streaming services, it gets really complicated because that language probably wasn't invented yet.
Right. I'm sure they've already thought about that 10 years ago. but I'm sure Disney's already been like, hey, wait, what can we do here?
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's a web we don't want to get stuck in right now. So sorry, it's a bad joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So so those 3 shows were announced, which was huge. What were some other things there? We saw the Black Widow.
Yeah, they showed some footage from Black Widow. They released a poster that looks pretty cool.
Apparently, it takes place after Civil War.
Really?
Yeah. So it's in like that time period where she's on the run and stuff like that.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I could be wrong, but that's what I'm pretty sure I read. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to come from it. And then the people watching were like, they still haven't announced who Taskmaster is. But they did say that they noticed the moves is just completely copying her moves. So, man.
Well, yeah, that's Taskmaster. Like, I mean,
I know. I think it'd be crazy if it was her. That's how you keep her in the MCU. She's a bad guy now. Keep her alive. Keep her living. Don't kill the villain. And that way we still get to see her in the MCU, but she's Taskmaster. I think that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it would.
That'd be nuts. But I don't know. Apparently it was some really cool footage. So, but yeah. So yeah, I think that's it for Marvel. There's probably some other things we're missing, but I think those are the big news. We got some Star Wars news.
Yeah, we do.
We got the trailer for The Mandalorian.
What'd you think?
I thought, that looked awesome. That's what I'm most excited for Star Wars for the end of the year. You know, that's probably the most anticipated project I'm looking forward to. What do you think?
I loved it. Like, it looks, I mean, you know, it looks like Star Wars the series. Yep. Like, I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks like old gritty Star Wars.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know, that time frame that it takes place after Return of the Jedi. That time frame, I think a lot of people were missing that in the prequels, that grittiness, and a lot of people were missing that in even the newer movies, like because, you know, we don't really go back to Tatooine. We don't. There's a lot, you know. J.J. Abrams' Star Wars movie, his Star Wars movie was more adventure, if that makes sense, which is awesome. Like, there's different parts of Star Wars that people hang on to, but this seems more like if you ever had Tales of the Bounty Hunters or Tales from Jabba's Palace, this is for you.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever spent hours reading those books and poring over those stories and wanting to know about these bounty hunters and these creatures and Jabba the Hutt and that part of the Star Wars universe, this is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
This is totally for you. And I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome that we're getting stuff in the animated part of Star Wars. We're getting stuff in this part. We're also getting the big live action stuff, which is more like the adventure and the, you know, that kind of thing. I think there is, you know, there's a place for everyone with it. So I don't know, man. I thought it was crazy. I was poring over all the scenes, like trying to figure out, like, oh wait, where are they at here? That doesn't look like Tatooine. Is this Tatooine? You know, it opens up with the helmets, the Stormtrooper helmets, on spikes, which was really cool. I like the time frame. We got what do we see? IG-11, which is voiced by Taika Waititi, right?
Yeah, Taika's playing that one.
Yeah. So I can't wait to hear him. You know, he's got a funny arc, or not a funny arc, but he really likes his arc. But yeah, man, I can't wait to dive into this. And this is where he reportedly said that, like, it's going to be week to week, which is what you want to do with this kind of show.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't hate shows that come out week to week. I just don't want, like, everything to be like that.
Not everything, exactly. But Star Wars, I'm totally in for. Did they say how many episodes it's going to be?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they hinted way back when that it was going to be like somewhere in that like 8 to 12 range.
Yeah, that's what makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait. I really can't wait. It just drips Star Wars. Like, everything about it. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know, who knows who could pop up in this, man. They could have so many surprises. I'm trying to, like, not get myself hyped up to where, like, I'm thinking Ahsoka could show up in this, or, you know, Obi-Wan could show up in, like, they could have so many different, not Obi-Wan, I'm sorry, but like, they could have just so many different characters pop up.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know, man, it gets me thinking. And then we got some Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor came out and he was like, he asked Kathy Kennedy, he was like, ask me.
Yeah.
Am I in the movie, or am I coming back as Obi-Wan? And he said yes. So
yeah,
that was cool. It takes place 8 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. So it's that's a nice even, like, middle ground.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's a nice, like, he's been on Tatooine for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Luke is 8 now, so I'm sure we'll see, like, him watching a young Luke at some point. I don't think he'll figure heavily. I don't
think so either.
No, I think this will be kind of like the opposite of what they did with Gotham, where it's like, no, this isn't going to be about the character that's usually the main guy.
Right. Well, this is going to be like the TV show Pennyworth, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So hey man, I could do 8 episodes of him just wallowing in his own, like, depression. let alone if they do it where like he's at a he's at the cantina. I would actually even like it if he left Tatooine. Like he goes on if something happens that is because something big has to happen for him to leave Tatooine. Something super crazy has to happen for him to go. I gotta leave Luke for a few days.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind that. Anything could happen with this. And this is the one where I was thinking like Ahsoka could show up. Like this. That's the time frame of like all those crazy characters could pop in. You can get like live action Hondo in there. Like you could throw in so many crazy characters, even ones from the books. Like
you put Hondo in a cantina scene in here, man, and I will buy a lifetime subscription to this service.
Yes, absolutely. You could put I guess Boba Fett would be young in this too. No, he would actually be like a teenager, right?
He would be like 18. Yeah. He'd be in his like probably late teens, yeah.
Yeah, you could put a lot of different weird characters in here, especially the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could go crazy with this. I saw a lot of things. What do you think of them using like big legacy characters though? Like, do you think we see Vader?
No.
No?
No, Vader wouldn't go back to Tatooine.
Well, no, it wouldn't be on Tatooine.
No, I don't see them incorporating like Vader and the Emperor and Yoda in those kind of roles.
I could totally see Qui-Gon.
I was just gonna go there. Because I can see this being like him still honing that training and communing with Qui-Gon. I absolutely think we'll get a Liam Neeson cameo at least at one point.
Yeah,
no question.
I don't think they could do Maul because
where they tied that off in Rebels.
Yeah, they did.
And it's I think that story is told. Like, I don't think you can include Maul without doing some really weird like continuity. Like, you would have to do some major gymnastics.
It definitely wouldn't be on Tatooine.
No,
because Maul was like, wait, what? He's there? Like, yeah. It's one of those like I completely agree with you.
You could have like a near miss.
Yes.
Kenobi's doing a thing and Maul happens to be somewhere around. Maybe? Yes. It depends on... Oh, man, there's a lot of timeline reconciling with Clone Wars you'd have to do, too.
Yeah, I mean, but you think about, like, where Maul is at this point in time, and at this point in time, Maul is running that underground thing.
That's true. Gotcha, that's right. He's, what is it, the Black Sun?
Yeah,
that he's in charge
he
of?
Might not be... this is one of those where, like, he might not be... Do we see young Han Solo in this?
Maybe.
And Chewie. Like, do we... They seem to... that's who they were going to meet. They knew Obi-Wan Kenobi, right?
They didn't know him, but I think it was the other way around. There was a sense of, like, Obi-Wan...
He went there to meet them, right?
Well, no, they went there to find... something.
That's right.
Yeah, they didn't go there to meet them specifically. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they add in like that little bit of retcon of like, oh, and this is why he wasn't overly suspicious of Han and Chewie because he had seen them somewhere before. I think you'll get.
Now I got to rewatch the scene because it made it seem like he knew Chewie.
No, I don't think
maybe
so.
Maybe I gotta rewatch that scene.
I would go back.
A scene I've seen a million times. Now I'm questioning myself.
No, wait, hang on. Because
he's talking to him at the bar.
Yes, they would have known Chewie because Yoda knew Chewie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He knew Chewie because he was talking to him at the bar, and then he went and sat down.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Obi-Wan and Chewie had some sort of past where they obviously run into each other because of the wars and whatnot. But I'm spitballing again. I'm just trying to think of. I think you're absolutely right. I think it is long shot Maul, which is probably never going to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we might see him just because he might be, the big dog in charge of a lot of the things going on behind the scenes. But I think Ahsoka would be perfect for these. If she could be the Nick Fury of this Star Wars stuff, that would be crazy because she could pop up in both. She could pop in all three of these shows.
Yeah, and it works because like the timeline for her works because I was trying to remember her Rebels arc because there's that weird. She has that real weird thing that happens, but that timeline works. Like there's plenty of room for Ahsoka to appear in there, which would be a hell of a thing.
I mean, Dave Maloney, he is in charge of this, right? With
I think so.
He's like co-doing it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I could totally see her. She's the one where I'm thinking she's gotta be in some of this. To see her jump from the Clone Wars animated to live action would be just a sight to behold.
It's the one thing. Like, it's the only thing that everybody is like, this needs to be a thing.
And there's too many things put in place to not make it happen. Like, it has to happen.
Yeah.
They have to do that. So I think that's more likely. I think it would be great if they got Liam Neeson to come back and do Qui-Gon. And, it doesn't have to be the whole show. It could just be a few things in a few episodes. It could just be a few voiceovers, because Qui-Gon really didn't grasp that whole thing yet. That could totally work. And then, like I said, Darth Vader, I think they couldn't run into each other, but maybe he's just seen. He's this menace or something. I don't know. But who knows? It opens the door. But at the same time, all of that aside, what I like about The Mandalorian is we got a new character.
Yes. And
we don't need all of that other stuff. It's in the same world, but he's a brand new character in the Star Wars universe, and he looks awesome. He feels awesome. Everything in the trailers that I've seen, it looks like, an old Western, which is cool. When the guy gets cut in half by the door, come on.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that. I was like, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, man. And seeing the IG-11 with his guns is just so awesome. But yeah, anyway, so there wasn't really much other Star Wars news, really. Who's the guy from Rogue One? He's getting his own show. They only really talked about it.
Oh yeah, Cassian. Yeah.
Cassian. Yeah.
They were like, he's definitely gonna get a show. And then they talked to it was him and Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
Because K2SO is gonna be in it, and
yes.
I love that Tudyk suggested they call it K2 Fast, K2 Furious.
Exactly. Oh yeah. That was the other thing is, like, I don't think they weren't ready to announce the title, but he's like, can we talk about it? Because I'm curious what that's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be what, Fulcrum?
No. Fulcrum was different.
Wasn't that him?
No.
It was him. It was Ahsoka. It was.
I don't think he was Fulcrum. I think just Ahsoka was Fulcrum.
Are you sure he wasn't? There was multiple ones. It's kind of like a 007.
Yeah, but they introduced that idea in her book, though.
But why couldn't he be that too? Fulcrum was a codename assigned to several rebellion operatives to hide their identities. I think that's, again, we tie it back to this is how you have her in all of the shows.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that could be like a by-system basis of, like, a different Fulcrum, quote unquote, in each system.
Personally, I think that would be a perfect title for that show. What do you think?
Nah.
No? If they would just called it Fulcrum?
Nah. It doesn't.
No?
I don't think it works. Because you haven't, aside from Rebels, that's not really it's not something that's going to grasp people. The Mandalorian is something that's, Mandalore has been a thing among Star Wars fans forever. And it's been in the movies.
True, but I mean, that sets up his character. He is a spy. Like, that was one of the things I really liked about Rogue One, is when you saw him and he kills that character, and you're like, oh wait, he's supposed to be the good guy, but he's doing whatever it takes. I don't know. It was just I thought that was a good idea.
I like the thought behind it. And I think you can definitely play with something like that. I think it's going to be something about, like, Rebel Underground or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's going to be... I just think just calling it Fulcrum is something that's going to take explaining.
Well, sure, but that's that's the show.
I know, but there's...
It's like explaining 007. You eventually get it. You get what the thought behind it is.
Sure, he's a secret agent. It's his code name. And everything else just kind of works. I don't know. I think it's just because the word is such a weird word. Out of context. I think that's just it. I think I just don't like the aesthetic of it.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
So
even if you take out, even if you don't know anything about Star Wars, and you just see, oh, they announced a Disney Plus show. What's it called? The Mandalorian. Like that has
right,
some punch to it, you know?
right, right. Well, I want to I can't wait till Disney Plus gets on because they're pumping out these Marvel shows. It seems like they got like two or three. They got 3 or 4 a year. It seems like.
Yeah.
I want them to do the same with Star. Now I understand they didn't want to get that heavy with the movies because of what happened with Solo or whatnot, but they could totally do that with TV shows.
I am sure that they have plenty of pacing in mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I think they're doing episode by episode, so it's
Yeah.
not, we'll be going into November and then probably around January or February, or no, actually,
It'd
probably January. They'll be done with
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 1, so we'll see. We'll see. Um, and we got a new poster for Rise of the Skywalker.
Yeah, Emperor looming large in the background.
I was not a fan of it, man. It looks
I love it.
it looks like I don't know. As soon as I saw it, I thought it was Rebels or something. I thought it was like a new animated, like, oh, they're doing like a new animated show because it's straight up. And then apparently, detectives of the internet found out that they just used a Hot Toys model of the Emperor for the post. Like, no joke, it's like straight up the Hot Toys, like scratch for scratch. Everything of that model is what they use for it. So I don't know. I saw that and I was like, that looks too cartoony at the top. Like, I hope he's not a CGI character in the movie.
No, unless he's an evil Sith Force ghost, then
Yeah.
it'll be practical.
Yeah. It's gotta be, yeah. But they showed some footage from it. Like, one of the things was like Kylo looking at Vader's mask, which kind of looked cool. Quick shots, some of this stuff we've seen before. But on Monday, but then they also released in another panel the actual trailer for it.
Yeah.
Or teaser trailer, I guess it would be. And then they released on Monday for all of us. What did you think of the trailer?
Man, is it Christmas yet?
Yes. Feels like Star Wars again, right?
I'm excited. Now I'm good. I don't want any more. That was enough. I loved how most of that is reflecting on the legacy.
Yes.
And the new quote unquote part of that trailer is actually fairly short.
Yeah.
And I'm totally okay with that. I liked what they did. It's what they've put in here was badass.
I think a lot of that is the beginning of the movie, personally. Or at least I hope it is. I hope they open up with that kind of stuff.
That's fair. Yeah.
I hope they open up with them on Endor. I hope they open up with the fight that looks like they're doing on top of the Death Star. So we don't even know what's going to happen at the end of the movie. Like, that's my hope. I doubt it's like that, but I think that would be really cool if they were just like, yeah, we're going to show you some of the beginnings of it, and that's it.
Yeah, I feel like some of this, I feel though like a lot of this was very like showdown oriented. It was like,
Right.
this is the end. You know, we have Alphabet Squadron versus an entire Imperial fleet of Star Destroyers. What in the hell? I mean,
But here's the thing. I got 2 thoughts on that.
okay.
There's lightning in all of these scenes.
Yes.
Why is there lightning in space, first of all?
Because space storms.
I don't think it's real.
That's possible. It is possible.
I think a lot of this is not real.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this is, maybe Rey looking at the dark side and blah, blah, blah. And she's seeing these flashes and these lightnings and all of this. I think a lot of it's not real. Or there's a lightning storm all over the universe, all over the galaxy at the same time. I just thought that was odd that it was like storming every scene of this except for when they were on that one planet. I just thought that caught me off guard. I was like, why is there lightning in space? Why is there? But you're absolutely right. The hundreds and hundreds of Emperor's ships, which those are not from the First Order. These are definitely the Emperor.
Oh,
These
yeah,
are Palpatine ships.
Yeah, this is Imperial. This isn't First Order. This is old school.
Right, which makes me wonder if were these the unknown regions? Were these?
Well, I mean,
Palpatine's backup ships. How did they get these ships? Who's manning these ships?
Exactly. Well, I mean, there's if you read, what was it, Lost Stars? You
Yeah.
know, that answers a lot of those kind of questions.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. There's a lot of stuff in the extended universe that go into this. Even if you play like Battlefront 2,
Yeah,
there's a lot of that talk about this kind of stuff. I'm curious if it's real or not.
yeah.
And
No,
that, especially with the last scene with Rey with the double-bladed lightsaber, her as the, is that Rey? A lot of people think it's either some sort of dream or whatnot, kind of like how Luke saw his father, that kind of stuff, or is she a clone? You
yeah.
know,
I think I
there's a
I
lot of theories about Palpatine, playing with midichlorians, and could Rey, you get into all of those theories
yeah,
again, and you got to be careful because remember our Snoke's theories were shit. So,
yeah. I
but I love that though. I love wondering and kind of trying to figure out what it is. You just got to go in with the correct expectations.
Yeah, I'm betting on like a mix of I think what happens is that's her, Dagobah cave moment.
Yes.
I think a lot of that trailer is this kind of
It
thing.
looks like she's on a cave. Like it straight up looks like the
Yeah.
glass cave where she put her hand up and it showed 1,000 rays. And she clicks her fingers and snaps her
Yeah,
fingers,
it does that a
and it
little
has
bit.
that volcanic glass. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
And she was looking at it. And I don't know if she goes back to Octu. I don't know about any of that. Maybe she does. Maybe she goes back to Octu to see if Luke's there. Who knows? I don't know. But that to me does look like that moment. But at the same time, I think that would kind of suck, especially because they showed it. I think they're showing it expecting people to think that's going to happen in the movie. When most Star Wars fans are thinking what we're thinking, like, oh, that's just a vision or something.
Right.
That's a red herring. Because there's way too much character development with her to make her. Why would she go down the dark side when everything to this point has seemed like she's been the one to go, no, you're an idiot. Why are you doing this? Kylo, you could come back from it. So I don't know. But that lightsaber's dope, though.
Yeah.
Totally impractical, but I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, but most of them are. So.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's a new toy. Like that's gonna be a Hot Toys. That's gonna be a model. That's I thought it looked dope. And Kylo looked really cool in this. Like he looks like a badass. And I see the storm, and I just keep seeing all this storm stuff, and I'm just wondering why. Is it all on the same planet? Is it just really storming, and the lightning in space really tripped me up though, because that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I mean that's you think about nebulas and that kind of thing. Like I mean there
Yeah.
are there are precedents for it. They haven't
I
really.
mean, I guess it was happening with the Solo movie, right? With the
Yeah, yeah, the Kessel Run.
is that where they're at? Are they in the Kessel Run?
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
They bring it back to that.
But I mean, Billy D. Williams.
It's true.
He is
That's
there.
absolutely true. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm 100% with you. I don't want to see any more.
Yeah, no, this was enough. I like this when they were like, it's a new trailer look, and I was like, I don't know, but they didn't. The fact that most of it is about celebrating the entire legacy, and very little of it was actually new. It's like I'm okay with this. I'm good with this. I like this.
Yeah. I'm curious how they bring Palpatine back. I'm curious if he actually is back. I'm curious. Is he a clone? Is he, there's, I don't know, so many questions.
Yeah.
And there's been a ton of books coming out too recently. Like there was the Galaxy Edge one, which just recently came out.
Yeah, oh man, I've got to catch up on those. I still haven't read Treason yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, which one was Treason?
Thrawn, the third Thrawn book.
Thrawn. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm on the Alphabet Squadron right now.
Nice. How is that?
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Excellent.
It jumps around. One thing I don't like about it is there are so many characters, so I'm like, God, I'm reading like Game of Thrones book again.
It's a little fragmented. I get that, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like I miss, like I kind of just, because the one you brought up, the Ahsoka one, it's really short, and I have that one as well. I'm thinking like I kind of want to just go read that one.
Oh, go, yeah, definitely, because that is a straightforward. This is Ahsoka's story.
Exactly.
it's like after Clone Wars, and
Right.
it's up until like she finds like her calling.
Gotcha.
It's not a big stretch. It's definitely before Rebels, like way before.
Yeah.
But it's in that time frame. And it explains her lightsabers and everything too.
Right. It's when she leaves the Jedi Order, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, that's like I just want a straight up one person book.
Yeah.
Because even with the Master and Apprentice, it jumps. Like in 1 second you're old Qui-Gon, the second you're young Qui-Gon, and then you're seeing from the point of view of just like 2 or 3 different characters. I'm like, wait, I thought it was gonna be like a book with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. I don't know. It just jumps around a little too much for me. But I don't know. Anyway, the art book. The art of have you seen the cover of it?
No,
Oh, it looks so cool.
Nice.
Oh, it looks so good. I love those books. But anyway, that was the Star Wars stuff. There was, a ton of it at Disney, D23. I think we got to all of it, though. There was some other movie news. We talked about, Bond 25 got a title, No Time to Die.
Yeah, it's a very Bond title.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was some Matrix news, right?
Yeah, Lana Wachowski is going to write and direct the 4th one. It is official. Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves are returning.
Cool.
Sure. I mean, why not? They can figure something out.
Yeah. We'll see. We talked about the El Camino. Mortal Kombat got some characters. Some actors.
Yeah, Jessica McNamee, I don't know. I'm sorry, I apologize. Was cast as Sonya Blade. Josh Lawson was cast as Kano, and Louis Tan joined the cast in a secret, unannounced role. Ooh.
Did you see the combat pack for Mortal Kombat characters?
Yeah, I did. What in the hell?
It looked dope, right?
Like, here's the thing. A lot of them, make sense. Nightwolf, yes. Shang Tsung, yes. Sindel, yes. Even Spawn, sure. Very, definitively graphic. I'm on board with Spawn. The T-800 Terminator. Okay, yeah, I get that. That's fair enough. Handsome Joker?
No, Joker makes sense. I mean, the DC stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, in a Mortal Kombat game, I mean, this is kind of what you've been wanting for years.
Yeah, sure. No, this is exactly what I want. He's a super violent character.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that they allowed this.
That's
and I'm
my
happy
thing.
that they did.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how brutal does he get?
Dude, I think that how they have all these skins and packs and whatever. I think they're probably going to do the what's the Joker? The one, but he's not really Joker. He's Bruce Wayne, the man who laughs.
The man who laughs. Oh, now
imagine the skin packs for this. Imagine the skin packs for Terminator.
Well, I mean, they're not. If you change the Terminator up, you change the whole thing, though.
Well, he's old. He's old man Arnold in the trailer that we saw.
Okay.
I imagine they'll have one for when the Terminator originally came out, which was young man Arnold. And then
Sure.
I imagine they'll have one where he's just all robot. The Terminator stuff makes sense because we've had the Alien, we've had the Freddy, the Jason. This is kind of in that ballpark. But
this
outside of it.
Yeah, this one makes sense. And Spawn, like I said, with Spawn makes absolute. I mean, Spawn is hell Spawn. So I mean, that's that writes itself.
Oh yeah, totally. The artwork for Joker, or you're right, the design was weird because someone brought it up on the Reddit or whatnot that he's straight up the one from the adult movie that they did about the Suicide Squad. If you look at the picture of the Joker they used and the one that's in that movie,
yeah,
it is a verbatim of it, instead of the very cartoony one or the one from the animated series or the one from even the Arkham Knight series. They could have made him look a little bit different, but he looks straight up from the adult movie.
That's the thing, though. That's one where, sure, there's a lot of different skins because there's, even just in Snyder's Batman run, you could have a couple different Jokers from that.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just the one who laughs, but you can have Joker with the tacked on face.
I'm surprised they didn't do the man who laughs, honestly, though, because that one they could have. And that's the other thing. It's is he going to get chopped? I guess he's going to get chopped up to pieces like all the other characters. And I'm curious what his fatalities are too.
Yeah,
I imagine it'll be acid and a bomb or something that blows up, a ticking what did he have? The teeth that clacked.
Yeah.
He had all sorts of different, the acid coming from the flower. Like I'm sure he'll do all sorts of different things. But I don't know. I that pack was like, oh, maybe I'm sure Mortal Kombat will drop to $30 sometimes in the next 6 months. So.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah. Well, I know briefly we'll talk about it, but WoW Classic dropped this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
It broke Twitch numbers.
Yeah, there's a big shock.
Yeah, like it. I don't think I have it in front of me, but
it was
it had the most views of any other game of all time.
It was what, like 1.2 million, I think, something like
that. Yeah, 1.1 or 1.2 million viewers tuned in to watch. Like people were just watching, just their character screen. Like it was insane.
Yeah.
I'm curious because it's obviously going to, over the next few weeks, calm down. But man, I'm going to be jumping in probably about a week from now. Next time we talk, I'll probably be in Classic. I've got friends, even friends of the show here. Our buddy Sean, he's going to be jumping back in. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna run some horde characters. So I'm excited. It's 2004 all over again.
Yeah, I'll have fun. I will stick to watching the Warcraft movie, which I got on Blu-ray for $6 off Amazon.
Well, I mean, I'm curious what this means, because it basically for the longest time, Blizzard was like, when they were asked like, hey, are you guys ever going to release the original version of your game? They're like, you don't want us to do that because of how many things we put into the game for comfort and for ease and for like, you don't have to buy every arrow and you don't have to do all this other stuff. And we've made it so much better. And then when they put out something like this and their numbers just skyrocket, like, what does that mean? I'm just curious what they're going to do next with it.
It means they all sit around the boardroom, they get blackout drunk, they wake up in the morning, and they start all over again. Because that is, you look at this and you go, we've spent 15 years building this entire universe, and what did people want? To go back to the beginning.
Exactly. It's like, what does that say? Is it just nostalgia that people are like grabbed onto? Some of the things I hope they take from it is that the biggest things that I hear from people is that in classic WoW there was this exploration that you don't get in the new ones, and it's because of all the, you can't fly immediately. You actually have to bust your ass to get to level 60.
Yeah.
You have to actually work with people to go into dungeons. There's no dungeon finder. There's none of that stuff. You actually have to group up with friends and stuff like that. I hope they take some of that, and then in the new expansion they figure out ways to implement it where it's, I don't know how they'll do that. It also has me wondering if they're thinking about World of Warcraft 2, because I think one of the biggest things about classic WoW, or when WoW originally came out, was when it dropped, there was so much content. There was 2 giant continents that you were exploring.
Yeah.
And where you can't fly, you actually have to run around. And I'm wondering if I don't know. I'm curious because we'll hear more at BlizzCon. That'll be in a few months, or next month, or 2 months. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
It's either September or October. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll hear more about whatever the next expansion is. But I have to imagine they see this and they're like, wait, people really like classic WoW. What can we do to implement that in the current WoW? Because now, what I loved about this as well is you don't have to buy a $60 game. It's all included in your subscription.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is subscribe, and even if you have an old computer, you could totally play it. You don't have to have the newest thing. You can have a computer that basically can run from like 2005. You're good. Which is cool. So anyone can really jump in right now. And I think another big part of it is there's a lot of people who missed out in 2004 because they didn't play it originally. They jumped in expansions way later, and they're like, oh, I want to be a part of the conversation right now because I never was a part of it back then.
Yeah.
I want to see what everything's about, and they seem to be loving it. So I don't know. I thought it was cool. It's huge. But anyway, where were
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, yes. Nathan Fillion joins the cast, right?
Yeah, they didn't say as who, but they're like, we got Nathan Fillion, and we were like, cool.
And did you see that rumors had it that Waititi was, or Waikiki, I'm butchering his name, was rumored to play a role in Suicide Squad?
Boy, wouldn't that be a weird thing?
That would be crazy. Man, we're getting closer to a DC Marvel. If those two people can work together and get these two studios to play together, could you imagine the crossover?
Yeah, what was the comic?
I think it was just like DC or Avengers versus Justice League.
No. The Amalgam universe.
That's it, yeah.
God, that was.
Well, no, I
insane.
wouldn't want that. I'd want more of like Avengers versus Justice League, and then they team up together. Did you see the new trailer for the Joker?
No, I actually have not yet.
Oh, yeah, it's very. You could tell he's totally trying to do Scorsese with this.
Well, yeah.
It's just straight up Taxi Driver.
Hey, that's fine by me, man.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not putting it down by any means. Like it's just when I saw it, I was like, oh, yep, this. They're like it's you. If you didn't realize it in the last trailer, this is totally it. Yeah. But yeah. So that's coming out. What else do we got here? We got some Halloween news.
Yeah, the next Halloween movie, Anthony Michael Hall was cast as Tommy Doyle.
Okay.
He was one of the kids that she babysat in the original Halloween.
Oh, okay.
So that's a big pull. That's a deep cut. And Fast and Furious 9, whatever they're gonna call this one. I thought they were done basically making this, but apparently Michael Rooker was brought in apparently late in production for some shots.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like a surprise that they brought him, like if he wasn't in the script already. But that's cool. Like the two big new people are what, him and John Cena?
And John Cena, yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
No kidding.
Yeah. But I think that's it. All the only other news we got really is what? We got Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah, it comes out September 25th. I'm not real excited for the Nintendo mobile stuff.
No.
I didn't jump into Dr. Mario when they did that one.
Right. But it's one of those things where as long as that stuff stays on mobile and cell phones and not creep its way into the Switch, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Right. And I have I don't mind Nintendo doing mobile games. Like, that's fine. Right. Do your own thing. But
I just don't want the next, Mario Kart to be whatever it is on the Switch. Or, I'm sorry, whatever it is on the phone. So
right. It needs to be two very different things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I think that's it for the show. We'll be back next week. Hopefully this hurricane doesn't do too much damage. I'll be back talking about Warcraft and all sorts of stuff. Anything else on your end?
No. I'm trying to think of what comes out like in the next, because we won't be back on Tuesday. It'll be at least another week. I may see it between now and when we do our next show.
Okay.
Because that's next week. That's our big one. It Chapter 2 is the 6th. So it's a week. It's a week from today officially. But mean Thursday showings and all that. They still can't. That's what makes me crazy. Like everything still actually comes out on Friday, like officially, and everything on Thursday it's considered a preview screening, even though every movie does them now. Like every movie comes out at some point between 4 and 7 on Thursday.
Right.
And they have forever. It's been years. I think Force Awakens started it.
Yeah, it used to be like just a few movies.
And they would do it at midnight. They were always midnight showings. And then I don't know if it was Avengers maybe that moved it forward, where it was like we can't have these at midnight, they have to be earlier.
Yeah.
I would love to. I want to look into the history of that. Maybe between now and next week, I'll look into that. Because that kind of stuff fascinates me. Like Psycho was the first movie to have like of actual showtimes.
Oh, okay.
That was that was the thing that always fascinated me. Was it used to be you buy a ticket to a movie, you go in. Oh yeah, right. I saw this part. Whatever. Psycho was the first one where it was like no. If you're not in by the time it starts, you've got to wait for the next one.
Right.
It's the first one to do that. So I love stuff like that. So I actually want to look into that. But you know,
Yeah.
I mean, every movie now comes out like on Thursday, really.
Right. Right.
But you know,
And if it's like super big Wednesdays, usually, right?
well, those actually get officially moved.
Oh,
If
okay,
it's a
gotcha.
Wednesday release, it'll be something that's officially removed. And even then, I give you an example: Angry Birds 2, when it came out earlier this month, it was a Wednesday release. It was officially a Wednesday release. The
Gotcha.
12th, whatever. Well, I think it was like the 12th or 13th, whatever it was. But not only did it actually come out on Tuesday, the day before, but it came out like first thing. Like it had a full run of shows. So it really just came out on Tuesday, but it wasn't. It was weird.
That's crazy. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention it. Did you see that it was announced a remaster of the Disney's classic Lion King and Aladdin games are going to come to the Switch,
Yes,
PC, and PlayStation
I did see that,
this
and
fall?
it's interesting because it doesn't include the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah,
So they picked the Sega version?
well, there only was. I mean, here was the thing. Like the Lion King one. Well, no. Does the Lion King one does have the Super Nintendo version though, doesn't it?
Well, no, hold on. It's going to be like a package.
Right. No, I'm saying like there's the Game Boy Color version of there's the Game Boy version of each of them. There's the Genesis version of each of them. But which version which one does not have the Super Nintendo version, or is it both of them that don't?
So Aladdin was on both.
Yeah.
I
So
think
so was Lion King.
so. They were on both. Then I think the big difference between Aladdin that I remember is that one had apples.
Well, here was the thing, though. I guess it's because the Genesis and Super Nintendo versions of Lion King were basically the same game.
Right.
The Genesis and Super Nintendo versions of Aladdin were actually very different games.
Okay.
Yeah, they were very like it wasn't cosmetic changes or anything. Like they were completely different games.
Oh,
They were
okay. I'm
still
looking at it now.
yeah. If you compare them, like they're still side-scrolling kind of platformery, but the
Right.
Super Nintendo version was a very different animal.
Right. Because of what it could do behind the
Yes.
scenes, right? Like,
Yeah, there was more power to it. The levels were bigger. The platforming was way more involved.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a whole different game, which is why it's interesting that that's not on there.
yeah. I'm looking at
And
the
I'm
Genesis and the Super Nintendo version. The Super Nintendo one looks way better.
it's it was kind of a pick your poison, I guess.
Yeah.
I like the Genesis version better, but that was just me.
Oh
Um,
man, this looks way.
it's
This can't be right. The Super Nintendo one looks way better.
it's a whole different
And I
beast.
see. And see, I heard the Genesis one was better.
I enjoyed the Genesis one more.
Yeah.
But I get like I'm not gonna argue with anybody who was like the Super Nintendo version was better because they're not wrong.
I think it's the colors. It looks like it pops way more on the
Well,
Super Nintendo.
because the Super Nintendo had what was it the Super 7 chip, right?
Yeah. I think Aladdin looks better on the Genesis here, but I don't know. I remember on the Super Nintendo because we had it for both. I remember my grandparents had the Super Nintendo, so we had the. I remember Aladdin on that one because I remember us accidentally putting in a code once, and it took us to like the last level,
Yeah.
and we had no idea how to do that again. We just kept putting in these codes, and eventually figured out a lot of the codes. But I remember doing that. And then I remember us playing it at our house, and I remember the big difference was one of them had like you threw apples, I think, in the. Actually, I know. I guess they both have it. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm looking at them
Oh,
two side to side here, and they look very different.
I think I know why.
Why is that?
And this may just be spitballing here, but the Genesis version was made by Virgin Games,
Okay,
which wound up working through like EA and Westwood and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know where in the hell did it eventually wind up. Give me 2 seconds.
yeah.
I don't know where it wound up, but the Super Nintendo version was made by Capcom,
Oh, okay,
and I think that may have been why.
gotcha. You know what I want? I want them to put the Super Star Wars out on the Switch. All three of them.
Well,
Give me that.
the first one is available on PlayStation now.
Yep. No, I have it on PlayStation. I bought the because I got whenever I
Yeah.
forgot what I purchased to get like the Star Wars package with it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But oh, dude, yeah, any Star Wars game come out on these systems, it's the first thing I buy.
That's fair.
But I love that on the Switch. Like those, it reminds me of the Aladdin games. It reminds me of the Lion King games. It's those old
Yep.
side scroller platformers, and it's Star Wars. Like Empire, the Return of the Jedi one. They're so much fun. And the thing is, I still own the first one, like the actual cartridge.
Nice.
But the second two, I never really played that much.
I was the opposite. Like I played Empire like mad.
See, I never owned those. I think I rented them a few times, but I never actually owned it. So the first one, and that's the crazy thing, is I remember playing through the first one, and but then I tried playing it years later, like a year or so ago, and I still have it, but it's so hard.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, those games are ridiculous. I mean, that was the thing back then. They made you work for it. Like you got your money's worth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, to get through the Jawa's crawler, which is like the second or third stage.
Yeah.
It is so hard, and then to finally get past that, and then we go to the cantina scene, and you fight the monster, but the monster is basically one of the chess pieces that the one in the Millennium Falcon where they play the game.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so hard, and there's no and then once you're game over, that's it. You start over.
Yep.
It's so difficult. There's no save states. Like throw that on the Switch with saves, and we'll be Gucci. We'll be good. But I think that's it. Make sure you go to our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Make sure you go to send us an email at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Android Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And if it's not on a certain service, let us know. But I think that's it, and we'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, Captain.
Captain.